Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video, we are going to be doing a first look at the game Fields of Fire and its deluxe edition. So this here is the original Fields of Fire. This was released in 2017. And this actually is the second edition. So if we flip her to the side here, you can see it actually came out in 2016. But so I do have this, and I've never really done any video on it because there isn't. I guess there really wasn't. There were some issues with it. Let's just put it that way. A lot of people had trouble kind of grokking the rules and really understanding how to play it. It is a relatively complex game. If we take a look at first things first, let's follow my standard routine here. Designed by Ben Hull, and GMT Games is the publisher. This is the 9th Infantry, 9th Infantry Regiment, and covers battles during World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, so across 3 different conflicts. Now, if we flip it over here, this is a solitaire game that places you in the title, or role rather, of a rifle company commander in actions ranging between World War II and the present day. Now, there is a second volume, and a third one is also coming out. So that's on P500 right now, I believe. And I do have the second one as well. But we're going to talk about this one and its deluxe edition upgrade that I backed on P500 and received not too long ago. So you can see we've got Normandy fighting, August of 44. Then the Nakhtong River and Heartbreak Ridge from Korean War, and then of course Vietnam, covering April 66 to December of 70 in 3 Corps. You can see here the complexity for this is rated as a 6. Might be slightly higher than that, maybe. Solitaire suitability. This is a solitaire game, so it does have a 9, or the highest on the GMT scale, highest rating for solitaire play. This game is played with cards and doesn't really have a map. So it's an interesting one. But I did want to show you this here before we pull out the upgrade. Now you can see this is a regular, I guess, 2-inch box. It's packed full of stuff here. So you got cards. So obviously I have played around with this, but I have not actually done any content on it. But there is a lot of stuff in there, as you can see, and it does. Well, I'm going to repack it, but right now it's kind of uneven and screwed up. So here is the deluxe edition, still in its shrink, and you can see that the box for this guy is basically twice as thick as the original box, right? So it's still like a Ben Hull game design. And of course, he does the musket and pike, and the bayonet and sword, I think is what the other one's called. So something along those lines. Anyway, I know it's musket and pike. He did that, and he's a co-designer for the other one. Yeah, I hate when I draw a blank when I'm in the middle of talking about something, but there you go. This isn't his only game, is I guess what I'm saying. Anyway, we flip this one over. So this is the deluxe update kit. So you had the option to buy the whole thing. I elected to go for the update kit because I already had the original. So this gives you a different explanation of the game, but you see the complexity and solitaire rating stay the same. It's a 1-player game, 2+ hours, ages 14 and up. This is not a complete game. Fields of Fire 1st or 2nd edition are required to use this update kit. As I mentioned, I have the 2nd edition. So this is your update kit. Now, it's a solitaire game system that puts you in the role of a rifle company commander in conflicts throughout the 20th and 21st century. A little slightly different language. Game uses no dice or standard paper maps and is instead run by 2 card decks. The terrain decks are based on a specific region and are used to build the maps for the various missions your company must perform. A lot of flexibility when you do something like this. The action deck serves many purposes in controlling combat, command, and control in various activity attempts. The units of your company are counters representing headquarters elements, squads, weapons teams, forward observers, individual vehicles, or helicopters. And each campaign is formed of several missions. A mission can be played in a single game session of about 2 to 3 hours. Player manages the company, experience, and replacements in between missions. Okay, so the upgrade kit provides all of the components needed to upgrade your first or second edition Fields of Fire Volume 1 to the expanded and improved Deluxe Edition, presenting all 31 missions in redesigned mission books that follow the 9th U.S. Infantry Regiment across 4 historical campaigns. We have a brand new training manual and an extra standalone mission are included to help newcomers and provide a refresher for those coming back to the game before tackling the full campaigns. So again, you got Normandy, Nakhtong River, Heartbreak Ridge, and Vietnam. So let's take a look. The 9th Infantry. Might as well talk about the organization that this game is modeling. That is the Manchus, who they had service during the Boxer Rebellion, and their motto is "Keep Up the Fire," which is the name of a Boxer Rebellion game from Worthington, I believe. So let's take a look and see what's inside this big old box. Okay, so talking about Ben Hull before, I neglected to mention our game development by Andrew Stead and Colin Parsons. Let's give those guys some credit. Take off our cover here. All right, so this is really nice. You got a nice spiral-bound series rule book. Now it's a chunky book, man. It goes out to almost 100 pages. That is our rules. Okay, so let's take a quick look at this here. So table of contents here, and you can see it's got a lot to it. Introduction, welcome to Fields of Fire. So stop if you're unfamiliar with Fields of Fire or need a refresher on the rules, find the field manuals and follow the exercises included there, which are intended to teach you the concepts and rules. So I probably won't go through the entire rule book here. We'll just kind of skim through and then we'll look at the field manual. Okay, so you've got your concept with the decks of cards for your terrain and actions, 2 separate decks. The scale, ground scale is abstract because you're using terrain cards. The time scale is abstract too and typically represents 5 to 30 minutes. Unit scale, infantry units have between 1 and 4 steps, with each step representing 2 to 4 men, depending on the quality of the unit. You've got your campaigns and your missions. So you can see they've got examples here. These are terrain cards and what they look like. Your action cards and what they look like. Here's a unit, your squads, your headquarters, your forward observers, your weapons teams, vehicles and aircraft, limited action teams, casualty markers, company staff, runners, higher command. So you are literally put in the role of a regimental commander, and you do have to command your men. So it's really, really kind of a very cool concept. And higher command, right? We've got a nice kernel here. Then markers, and you've got your various markers, aids and campaign, mission log, player aid, command display, helicopter control. It's very detailed. The glossary, which runs almost 3 pages. Then you've got your random number generator, which comes from the bottom section of the card. So it's a complex game with countless possible situations that may occur. If the situation's unclear or if you've forgotten one of the many rules, simply use the random number generator to determine the correct course of action. So you get a little mechanic to help you out if you get stuck. Preparing for a mission, how you choose your mission and campaign, how you set up your map, which is, again, terrain cards. Again, I'm just kind of skimming here. You've got organizing your company, tactical reference points, staging areas, combat patrols. So these are various missions. I guess that's a various mission maybe. Air amphibious assault, understanding the action card, beginning play. So here's a ready for Normandy mission 1 setup. You can see you've got your markers down here. You've got terrain cards with some counters on them, indicating potential contacts in all of these spaces. So that's interesting. Here's your detailed sequence of play. Yeah, pretty detailed. Command and control. So you've got your command reference table. HQ staff can give other orders besides activate too. So your battalion headquarters can activate your company headquarters, any unit, company headquarters. So you got your company staff, all lower headquarters. Any unit can activate anyone except the higher HQ, which is, of course. Then you've got your company executive officer, cannot activate anybody, but can give orders besides activation to any unit except his higher commanders. Your first sergeant, your gunnery sergeant for the Marines, that's in volume 2. Platoon headquarters, weapon team headquarters, and tank headquarters. Pretty straightforward, chain of command, right? Action menus, so you got a whole bunch of stuff here. A whole bunch of stuff, right? Communications, phone networks, radio networks, pyrotechnics. This is movement, line of sight, and terrain. Very complex. Cover. And you can see there's plenty of illustration in here. Here's the combat. More examples. Table summarizing VOF. I think that's volume of fire. And rallying and reconstitution, weapons and fire support, mines, hand grenades, rifle grenades, grenade launchers, AFVs and tanks, claymores, all kinds of stuff. Demolition, flamethrower, concentrated fire, snipers, indirect fire, short rounds. Okay. Well, the enemy units are placed on the map during the potential contact evaluation segment. You have contact and potential contact markers, potential contact marker explanation, determining the type, location, more examples, spotting, enemy behavior, enemy mines and booby traps, enemy leaders, snipers, vehicles, ammo, fanaticism, human wave, prisoners, visibility, vehicle and anti-tank, vehicle movement and anti-tank combat, sorry. There was some transport stuff, vehicle actions, resolving anti-tank combat results, special rules, riding on tanks, anti-tank ambush, helicopter control card. So you have some helicopter stuff, transportation and assault planning. So this is all helicopter related for Vietnam. How you play a campaign, gaining experience between mission sequence, using your XPs, replacements, multi-step unit experience levels, skills, winning a campaign. And again, examples, plenty of them. Urban warfare. Multi-story buildings, barricades, breachings, compounds, causing a breach with other weapons, more urban combat, point-blank combat in urban terrain, line of sight. Here you have more layouts showing you how line of sight works, hand grenades and pyrotechnics in urban terrain. And then we get to your index of examples, your general index, which is fairly extensive. And then on the very back, you have a turn sequence summary. You can see it's fairly detailed. Okay, and that is why they recommend that you start with this guy for basic platoon and company training. Right, so introduction using the rulebook. Right? Again, I'm not going to go through this in very much detail. We'll do gameplay. There's other gameplay videos you can watch as well, but we'll do gameplay to show kind of all this stuff. We just want to look at the components because my main purpose in doing this particular first look is to see what you get in your deluxe edition if you already have the base game, right? For those of us like myself who had the base game. So 1 is your intro, 2, rulebook, 3, your basic gameplay. 4 is platoon assault course. And again, a lot of examples to help ease your path, I suppose. This is like step by step through different turns. And then your conclusion, platoon assault course run 2, attacking an enemy position. Step-by-step example going through turns. Excellent stuff. I know a lot of work went into this particular part to help kind of guide people on how to play this game, because it is fairly complex, as you would expect. There's a reason why these guys go to like military academies and so on to learn how to lead combat forces. So this is yeah, really excellent. Okay, so you can see all kinds of stuff in here. That's basic training, and then your afterward, the word there. Now we have the advanced rifle company, infantry, and airborne battle group, advanced operations. So this kind of builds on the first one. And it talks about the game engine, abstraction and problem solving, time management, chaos, planning for your mission, formations, more example of play, going through different turns. So this is the more advanced. So you start with your basic, then you go through your advanced, kind of like how military training itself works. Basic training, then advanced training for whatever your specialty is. So keep up the fire. This is the standalone mission and example of play. So this is the new one that was added, right? And so this, it takes place, right? So your guide to units for this mission. So here are our US units and our German units. Rules simplification. And so this gives you an idea of what the mission stuff looks like. German force packages, all kinds of stuff. Here's your example of play. Organizing the company. There is just a ton of stuff in here. Okay. Then we have a lot of paper in this. By paper, I mean books. 9th Infantry Regiment Manchu's Vietnam Campaign mission book. So we've got, let's see, I don't want to go through this, but at least I can show you kind of what it looks like. Here's your campaign that runs from December of 66 to December of 68. And in some descriptive stuff for your brigade organization. The 4-9 were part of 1st Brigade, 25th Infantry Division between March of 66 and December of 70. So there are 7 operations in here. You have Alpha Company, Bravo Company, Mission 8, Mole City. So there's 8 actually. And then your unit breakdown. So you can see kind of, this is what your terrain setup will look like and different things for mission setup. I don't want to get bogged down in that kind of detail because this will take all day. This is the Heartbreak Ridge mission book. And this one comes with 8 missions as well. So you start with Bloody Ridge, various hill complexes, Heartbreak Ridge, and the Kim Il Sung Ridge. A map here that shows you. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Again, you have your unit guide with the American units, and then, or the 9th Infantry Regiment units, and then the North Korean People's Army units as well. There's your TO&E over here, special rules for this campaign, and then scenario setup stuff. We have 2 more, I believe. This one is the Nak Tong River, so it should be fairly similar to what we just saw. You can see kind of a layout here. This one has 7 missions, I guess. Historical notes, the North Korean invasion. So this is, I guess, yeah, this is early in the war, the first year after the North Korean attack. Manchu Korea timeline, August 7th through September 29th, looks like. Again, you have your unit guide, your TO&E, your CSR, campaign special rules, and then you get into the various battles. Well, this is the scenario. So there you go. That's that one. And then last but certainly not least, we have our Normandy campaign. So this would be the Normandy mission book. So going back to the Second World War, and you've got 7 missions here as well. So this should all be fairly familiar. The operations in Normandy. Familiar in terms of layout, I mean, because we just saw those, right? Here's our campaign guide, the 9th Infantry and the Germans. The TO&E, your campaign special rules, engineers, anti-tank units, and then mission 1, and then how you lay out your terrain cards and the situation and all that stuff for setting up the scenario. Okay, so here is a sheet that has our update kit counters. Okay, so these are the counters for updating the first edition. And then down here you have counters for updating the first and second edition. So I have the second edition, so I probably would not need to do these, but I will need to do these. And you've got 2 sides, multiple sheets, right? So let's see, corrected or improved counters. Replace these 1 for 1 and throw away the old counters. So you have 2 attack helicopters, 4 VC machine gun teams, 11 US units, 1 church, new style replacement counters, but not 1 for 1. You have 2 tank platoon command counters, replace single tank platoon command counter. 4 heavy machine guns, replace 1 30 cal and 2 30 cal plus 2 new units. And other new counters. So you have a manifest there of what you should do with these, which are our new counters. Right, so you have your new counters here. Take a quick look at those. If you've looked at the original counters, right, heavy machine gun platoon, some mortars. They are, of course, double-sided, as you would expect. That's sheet 1. Whoops. Half punched these out here accidentally. So that's a cover counter. Look there, cover plus 1 wreck. On the other side, burning wreck with smoke. And we have some T-34s. That would be for Korea. Right, VOFs. Okay. And the third sheet that I managed to pick up without punching them out. We got some German stuff here. So you can see kind of the new things that have been new or adjusted. Now we have player aids. There's a bunch of these as well. So player aid 1. So we have our command limitations, command draw modifiers, potential contact draw, spotting attempts, attempt to make a grenade attack on the inside, weapons capability over here, transportation, range abbreviations, command reference table, multi-step unit experience. Here's your volume of fire stuff down at the bottom, their modifiers, defender status, visibility, all kinds of stuff. The limitation, LAT. Okay, LAT type. Okay, pinned, assault team, fire team, litter team, paralyzed team. All right, that's the first one. Here's the action menus. We saw these in the rule book. The number of cards drawn is modified by +1 for veteran, -1 for green, based on the recipient's experience level for movement and combat actions, and the originator's experience level for rally actions. Okay, that actually makes sense to me. Then you have your Normandy Campaign card here for tracking mission stuff. And so this you would probably photocopy, I would think, so that you have a new sheet for each mission as you play through. Here's the Nong River on the other side. And we, of course, have the Heartbreak Ridge here. And on the other side, Vietnam. So you have your mission, your turns, your experience gained, and your headquarters, various headquarters, right? Company, the XO, the first sergeant, and so on. All your organizations for your various platoons and squads, attachments, attached to tank platoon, your fire support, pyrotechnics, etc. Here is a sequence of play. Single-sided, so that's your sequence of play right there. Then we have our helicopter control card. Landing zone. Landing card must be LZ compatible. Stacking limits of 16 infantry steps and 4 vehicles apply. Got a pickup zone and a landing zone. Outbound, inbound, loiter. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, we have 2 different types of helicopters here. This would, of course, be the Huey. These are the big boys, the Jolly Green Giant. All right, and then we got air assault planning cards for mission 1, various waves, and then missions 4 and 7 and 6. Here we have vehicle and anti-tank weapons chart on that side. On this side, anti-tank combat resolution and modifiers, vehicle actions, combat effects, tank ambush, resolving volume of fire against vehicles, and VOF modifiers, and PDF, pin down fire, maybe? I haven't read. It's been years since I looked at the first volume too, so drawing and placing enemy packages, etc., etc. And here we have the enemy activity check hierarchies, enemy defensive activity check hierarchies, right? Key and explanation at the bottom. This side has enemy offensive activity and LAT pinned activity, and key and explanation of the actions. Command display, U.S. Army, World War II, and Korea. So you have your various commands at the top, activation completed, command tracking, your turn track, and then assets are down here, eliminated, and evac, prisoners captured, and your various phases here. And then, of course, the flip side, if that was World War II and Korea, this would, of course, be Vietnam. So slightly different, but there you have it. So that, aside from the cards, and there's a handful of card updates. You can see it's not a ton, but there are some card updates. So this would be Heartbreak Ridge, and I won't open this right now. We'll see this when we play. And I'll go maybe I'll do a video where I go through how I update all the stuff that was in here. So if we wanted to take a quick peek at this stuff in here. So here we have the original Bulge campaign. Oh, this is the expansion. That's why it's so fat. That's why it's so thick. I stuck the Bulge campaign expansion in here. So I did buy that as well, or get that as well. And this is the expansion. So we get one more campaign for the Battle of the Bulge in World War II. So here are our original cards. So as you can see on here, you've got your random numbers at the bottom, various things here, contact, and the hit effects, and so on. Then we have cards for various things. right? So these are your terrain cards. So this one is Vietnam. These both are Vietnam. So you can see you got slow brush on that side. This side's got gully canal. Then we have terrain for Korea. Hill and an embankment. And then on this one is Normandy. And you got a cemetery. This is a fairly thick one. Briefing booklet. We got some stray counters here. Obviously, a lot of this stuff gets replaced. The player aid cards are redone. As you can see, these are not the same. This looks fairly similar. I'd have to compare side by side, but it looks fairly similar. The card backs look different. Maybe. Command display. Here's all the counters. Obviously, we will keep a great deal of those. There's a rule book and so on. I should put these counters back in here so that they're at least with their compatriots there. All right, so now I know why I had an issue getting everything back in here, was that I had put put this in a spot that made it hard. But now I'll be able to get, hopefully, all of this stuff inside the big box. All right, so that is our look at Fields of Fire Deluxe Edition. Took a while, and we didn't even go through everything. So you can see this is a big game. It's a fairly complex game, and I will be doing gameplay on it, but again, not sure when, probably May, perhaps June. Things stack up fairly quickly for me, but I did want to get a first look at least out here so you guys could see, if you do have this guy, what do you get when you go for the upgrade? So that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to post them in the comment section. I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. I appreciate you watching. If you would consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing, that would be awesome. If you are already a subscriber, thank you. I appreciate the support. And even if you don't do any of those things, I hope you'll come back and check out something down the road. But for now, that's it. I'm Joe. This is Hexed Encountered. And until next time, as I always say, happy gaming.